Bronco Nation News is presented by RowPaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, Taco Bell, by Lithia Ford, The Blue and Orange Store, Western Collective, by Jackson's, Snake River Pool and Spa, Transportation Compliance Service, Bauscher Real Estate, Ridley's Family Markets, by Circa Las Vegas, Lean Feast, and by Timberstone Golf Course.
Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
All right, we're going to get right to it. We are live here on the ICCU Postgame Show. BJ Rains is with you at Idaho Central Arena. Got Abe Jackson. Wanted to get right to him here. Abe, you and Bob just got done on the call over there on 670 KBOI, Abe, with the Bronco Radio Network in Learfield. And that first half was, I mean, no sugarcoating it. One of the worst first halves I've seen them play in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Got it going in the second half, but a little too late.
Well, really weird game. I mean, the Broncos get outscored by 20 points in the first half, and then they find something in the second half, and they outscore Washington State by 15. But, I mean, 20 points is just such a huge number to come back from. You almost have to have a perfect second half. And when you shoot 54, 56 from the free throw line, that isn't part of a perfect half. And then also there was a couple balls that bounced. There was a three-pointer, which was a horrible shot by Washington State early in the shot clock that hit the top of the backboard and then actually went in. I mean, just everything has to fall into place when you have that type of first half and you get down 20.
Yeah, you kind of knew that at that point it wasn't going to be their night, because they in the second half they kept trying to make comebacks, and you give them a valiant effort, give them some props for cutting it to 5, but it just seemed like Washington State had too many answers late and too many missed free throws in the second half too.
Yeah, and it was just completely against their game plan. I don't know what Coach Rice spoke with you about, but on the radio after the game, he said our game plan wasn't to shoot a bunch of threes. That's not our strength. Our strength is to go inside, drive the ball, get it to our big guys, score in the paint. And they shot 17 threes in the first half. And so he just said, that we just weren't tough. We just weren't tough when it came down to that. And I appreciate Coach Rice not sugarcoating it. I mean, a lot of times, coaches do coach speak after losses and try and not make it look so bad. But he just flat out said that was a horrible first half. And it was. The second half, they got on track, and they started to execute the game plan, he said, which was to get the ball inside. That's what you see Tyson Degenhardt at 16 of his 18 points in the second half, and then they beat him by 15 in the second half.
Yeah, and I just thought so uncharacteristic with some of the inbounds passes were lazy and got stolen, and guys getting rebounds and ball coming for a team that
such a weird first half like that.
And just so surprising with how Boise State is kind of built on having that energy and having that, and it was just so much excitement with the game last night, and everybody's excited, and you come out, the crowd ended up being a lot better than I thought it was going to be. For how many open seats there were a couple days ago, they filled in pretty nicely tonight. It was a nice crowd, and they just didn't have anything to cheer about in that first half.
No, and it was an odd first half. I mean, it was so uncharacteristic of a Boise State basketball team. I mean, you don't see them losing rebounds. I think they had 3 or 4 rebounds knocked out of their hands after they came down with it. Then they had a couple just guard-to-guard passes that weren't even deflected. They were just stolen. And they didn't get out and run. One of the biggest stats was, easy buckets. Now, that's not a stat line, easy buckets, but you can take a look at fast break points. 19-2 fast break points from Washington State to Boise State. So those are usually easy buckets that you give up. And so that first half was just so uncharacteristic of a Boise State basketball team, and they started to find it in the second half, of course, but they're going to need to find it for both halves in this next game against St. Mary's, because I think St. Mary's is better than Washington State. It's on another neutral court, but this one even further away in Idaho Falls, and St. Mary's is a big, strong, really veteran-heavy team.
We'll get to that game in a second, but Tyson Degenhardt, Boise State outscored Washington State by 1 when Tyson Degenhardt was on the floor. The problem was he wasn't on the floor some in the first half due to having 3 fouls, only 2 points. First half, he was just a non-factor in this one, and then they kept him on the bench because of the 3 fouls to start the second half. 2 quick buckets for Washington State, and Leon has to burn a timeout 1 minute and 10 seconds or whatever it was into the second half. But when he came in, Boise State, that was kind of when they started to make their comeback. But it's obvious kind of common sense thing, but Tyson Degenhardt, he's got to stay on the floor.
He's got to be out there. In the first half, I believe the 3 all-conference players for Boise State, Cardenas, Stanley, and Degenhardt, combined a 4 of 16 from the floor for 8 points total in that first half. And there's not going to be any good stats from the first half, right? There's just not going to be. But if you want to take a look at where they improved and how they changed, Andrew Meadow had a really nice game, 21 points. Tyson Degenhardt, 18 points, 16 of those came in the second half. that first half was just a weird anomaly of things that I really haven't seen from a Boise State team in a long time.
Yeah, Dan says, good thing this humiliating showcase wasn't nationally televised. Oh, wait. They lost by 5, Dan. So, yeah, I mean, the first half wasn't great, but I think Nevada just lost by 11 to Washington State a couple days ago, and then Boise State just lost by 5. So, yeah, was the first half good, down 20 on national TV? No, it was horrible. But they came back, and all things considered in that game with how bad they played, I mean, they gave it a chance there late in the game, and they only lose by 5.
Yeah, I mean, the second half was fantastic. I mean, you take a half that you outscore a team by 15 points, and you're going to take that in every single game that you play, no matter who you're playing. Mm-hmm. It's just that a lot of games you don't have a 20-point deficit at halftime to overcome.
Yeah, it was just like you said, very odd, hard to explain the first half. Not really sure, what happened there. And then in the second half, they're juggling lineups and things. Javen Buchanan didn't play much at all in the second half, and I know Leon is kind of stressed. Like, hey, it's going to take a little while to get these pieces to fit, and we got a lot of new guys and some guys that do similar things. But it seems like it's maybe taking a little longer than this coaching staff had hoped for to try to start to find the matchups and get this group to gel, because there's a lot of individual talent out there, but it just, for whatever reason, doesn't seem like it's fully clicking yet.
Well, what you like to see is just progress, right, in each game. If you're not clicking at the beginning, you just want to see a little bit of progress each game. And this half, or the first half, step back. But then in the second half, maybe step back to normal because you were down so much. So it was a weird game. The offense has not clicked sometimes this season. I mean, there was a over 8-minute stretch against Boston College in the second half to end the game against Boston College in the Cayman Islands. So they got to look for something. They got to look for something and get back to what they do best. And what they do best is not shoot 17 threes.
No,
in the first half, they get the ball inside. They have really good interior players, and they need to get the ball in.
And he's trying. He juggled the starting lineup last game, and it worked to an extent. But tonight, Julian Bowie, 2 points, 0 for 6 from the field, and Javen Buchanan, 2 points, 1 of 6 from the field. So the two guys you recently inserted into your starting lineup go 1 for 12 from the field.
I mean, there's not going to be really any good shooting numbers in this game. The Broncos shoot 38%. So you take a look at the stats, and there's nothing that's going to jump out to you to be like, that was a positive in that game. The free throws weren't good. The rebounds weren't great. The fast break points, you got beat on points in the paint. I think you outscored them from the bench because Andrew Meadow came off and had 21 points from the bench. But other than that, it's just not a game that statistically you're going to find anything.
So how do you, I mean, aside from just, crumpling up the stat sheet and throwing it out, I mean, you obviously, as you said, watch, another big game coming up against St. Mary's. I mean, they have 1 week to get ready for it, but they're, goals, their season, their at-large hopes, all this. I mean, it's you hate after 8 games or whatever to say they're going to have to win this league or make it in league play, but their chances are dwindling here in terms of getting these kind of big marquee wins. Obviously, puts a lot of pressure on the St. Mary's game.
It's a lot of pressure because I think St. Mary's is an NCAA team. They would put them probably second in the WCC after Gonzaga. So it's a big game. I mean, you've had some good wins. I think you have some good wins over NCAA teams already, but then you have some of these losses where it's just kind of like, what happened? The last 8 minutes of the game against Boston College, the first half here against Washington State, just yet to really see, other than the Clemson game. Clemson game was pretty much a full game where the Broncos played really well. But other than that, it's kind of been pieces here and pieces there, and just trying to get it all together for a solid game.
Yeah, and by no means am I trying to sugarcoat this. It was not a good win, but they just went to Reno and won by 11. Like, sure. That's a pretty good team.
I think so. And it's going to be kind of odd to see them in the WCC this year against those teams. But, they're going to give some people a run for their money. I mean, especially if those guards are knocking down some threes like they did in the game. And in the interior, and I don't know if it was a Boise State thing or a Washington State thing, but Washington State didn't come off to me as like a really good defensive presence team in the paint.
No.
But it kind of ended up like that. And
had some blocks.
And I don't know if just the explosion from the floor from the Broncos, it didn't look like they were really getting off the ground well. I don't know if that was bodying from Washington State, but much better interior defense than what it looked like on paper and really what it looked like in person while they were warming up from the Cougars.
Brent says no movement on offense, not a lot of confidence when shooting threes. Nice to see Lockett do some good things. Lockett did come in there, but in terms of the stagnant offense, Michael saying not 100% uncharacteristic for Leon Rice team. Stagnant offense has lost them big games before. We mentioned trying to find these pieces that fit gel. I think part of that in the first half was Tyson Degenhart not being on the floor.
Yeah.
I think we played like 10 minutes in the first half or something. But in terms of the offense, and we've they're trying to find some 3-point shooters. They're trying to find some things. I mean, where are you, I guess, with the offense and just like I said, trying to find the best combinations of guys right now that can give you the most production. But again, before this game, they were like top 40 in the offense, averaging 80 plus points a game. So let's not make any huge overreactions here.
Well, it's just that it seems like the stagnant offense just comes in bunches, right? It's not like you take a look at it and it's a couple minutes here and it's a couple minutes there. It's like 5, 6, 7 minutes of offense, just nothing's really happening. And the first half, that's really all it was. I never didn't feel comfortable on any possession in the first half. They got the ball and you're just thinking, is it going to get blocked? Is it going to be an air ball from 3? Is the rebound going to get knocked out of their hands? So that first half I think it was strange. Now people can say, hey, this is, normal or whatever, but I think from watching 17 years of coach or 15 years of Coach Rice, coach basketball teams, that first half was odd, and I had not seen him play like that before, but they did come back and only lose by 5 after being down 20. So if you want to put a little silver lining on it, they did outscore the Cougars by 15 in the second half.
I mentioned Javen Buchanan gets the start, 1 for 6, struggled, and then didn't really see the court much at all. I don't think he played the last 14 minutes until he went into foul with like 10 seconds left. So he was on the bench for a while, and then Dylan Anderson doesn't score in only 11 minutes as well. So Leon is really searching, but 2 of your high-prized additions here combined for 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting, and neither one was a factor tonight.
Well, and Coach Rice is going to be the one, and he'll tell you, to ride the hot hand. I don't care who's in or what combination I have of 5 guys out on the court. And when you take a look at it in the second half, I mean, something was working with who he had there in the second half. I mean, we've said it a million times. They outscored Washington State by 15. You outscore a team by 15 in the second half. You're doing something right offensively with who you have out there on the court. So there's so many guys they can go to that you're going to see mix and matches throughout the year. You're going to see, Omar Stanley not get a bunch of minutes, but have the team be successful out on the court with whoever's out there. We saw Emmanuel Ugbo have some really good minutes against Clemson. He was part of that 5 out on the court, and he didn't have a lot of minutes tonight. So depth is one thing that's really good, but depth also means that you're not going to have just a set 5 guys that are going to be your most productive 5 every game.
So I guess wrapping this up, we touched on St. Mary's next week. They got finals this week, but a week where they've got to figure some things out because you got St. Mary's and then, one more Texas Southern game, which you should be able to win, and then you're right into conference play.
Yeah, and need to find something to get the groove going, right? And a win against St. Mary's and Idaho Falls would definitely do that. It'd be a nice win over a team that I feel like is going to get to the NCAA tournament. Then you get Texas Southern at home. Then all of a sudden you open Mountain West with what are preseason some of the lower teams, right? You have Air Force at home, then you're at San Jose, then you're at Wyoming. You have an ability to go on a little bit of a run here, but it does start with St. Mary's next weekend.
Abe, appreciate you as always for jumping on. We'll have to touch base next week because I'm going to the Heisman Trophy ceremony, so I won't be able to get to the Idaho Falls game, but maybe we can record something earlier in the week or figure something out.
We'll do
appreciate you, Abe. Best of luck on the call next week, and we'll catch up with you soon, man.
All right.
Abe, 1 second before you go, we're going to hear from Tyson Degenhart and Andrew Meadow, and we'll hear from some players after the loss. I'm sure you guys were pleased with the fight in the second half, but just what went wrong in the first half there?
I mean, basically everything. I mean, we just didn't have the intensity and the grit to even compete in that first half, and I'm proud of us for playing so hard in the second half, but we got to have a full effort for 40 minutes.
How surprising was that? I mean, they're stealing inbound passes, just seemed like there wasn't much energy. It was kind of lethargic. Like, how surprising was that, I guess, to come out like that in a game like this?
It was very surprising. I mean, I thought we had a great couple days of prep and a great walkthrough this morning, and I don't really know.
What did you see, Andrew, in the first half?
I just thought we just had no energy, like you said. Like, we had no energy coming out, and we couldn't find a way to fight back in the second half.
I've covered Big Sky tournaments in this arena before. One thing I hear from a lot of players is the how far back the stands are from the hoop kind of throws off their shooting. Do you guys feel that at all today?
Not really. I mean, we have some other gyms that we've played in that have that deep depth perception, but at the end of the day, we're both shooting on the same 2 hoops, and they made a lot more baskets than us tonight.
What's the message to each other and to the rest of the team when you're the best half like that?
Just to take it one play at a time. We can't come back by 20 points in one possession, so we just got to keep giving body blows, and that's what we did, but we ended up not getting the job done.
I guess just, could you guys tell us the difference, and what was the difference between our first half and the second half?
Basically everything. I mean, when it comes to energy, the intensity that we had on defense, the desperation, just about everything flipped in the second half. And if we're able to play like that that second half for a full game, we're a pretty good team.
What was the most frustrating? Just the effort, or just you missed a lot of layups? I mean, what was it?
I think more the mental miscues. We had quite a few of those. I mean, you're going to miss layups in games. Like, it's just going to happen. But some of the mental errors, like, we knew that they were going to come behind on like a rebound and tip it from behind, and they probably had 4 or 5 of them in the first half that ended up probably being in turnovers into baskets, and coming down to like a 4 or 5 point game as it was. I mean, that makes a huge difference. So
just with all the excitement in town with the football game last night and stuff, and the crowd was pretty good tonight, and just to have the game start and the first half the way it goes, I guess just it was all kind of set up for you guys. How disappointing was it, I guess, just to start the game like that?
It was disappointing. We want to win every game, but we just gotta move on and get ready for the next one.
There were multiple times in that second half where you guys had a good run going. It's like, okay, maybe this is going to happen, and then they had a big shot. It seems like taking momentum, but you guys kept fighting back and getting into multiple of those opportunities. Just what was the belief like for you guys in that second half?
I mean, we knew that crazier things have happened. This Coach Rice had a team 2020 came down, came back from 18 down in like 4 minutes. So we knew the game wasn't over at halftime, and we just had to just play hard for 4 minutes at a time, like each possession, make each possession matter offensively and defensively. And we made some good efforts, getting that lead down, but ultimately it just wasn't enough.
The foul trouble for you in the first half, I think 3 fouls, only 2 points. How frustrating for that is you can't really get out there too much about it.
Definitely frustrating. Not the way you wanted to. I'd need to put myself in a better spot to not get that third one and find a way to stay in the game. But definitely a learning experience. I mean, I had too many of these occurrences where I get that third foul in the first half, and that's the way it goes.
What's kind of the big picture? Where do you kind of go from here? Obviously, we've dropped a couple games now, and obviously a big one next Saturday against St. Mary's. But how do you guys kind of get this thing turned back in the right direction here now that it's kind of spiral out of control? We just got to take it day by day. I mean, we got a nice week in between games, so we're going to take this time and really get better. We're not going to focus on St. Mary's until later in the week, but we're going to find a way to get better in these next couple days, and hopefully that produces a good result next Saturday.
Not back as many silver linings per se, but tough game here, tough game St. Mary's. You've had some already. Just playing this tough with a non-conference schedule, how's that going to help you guys go to the conference play?
I think it's going to help a lot. Playing these if we play nobody, is when we play good teams later down the road, we're not going to be ready. So even though we lost, we got to find some positive, and we just got to move on and get ready for the next game.
Well, there you go, Tyson Degenhart
you.
and Andrew Meadow. We appreciate them for their time after the game. We're going to hear from Leon Rice in just a second. I want to thank a couple sponsors. Western Collective, our studio sponsor, whether it's the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer, a portion of the proceeds goes to benefit the Horseshoe Collective. So if you want to have some tasty beverages and help put some money back in the student-athletes' pockets at Boise State in the process, I highly recommend the products from Western Collective, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale and the Orange Chaos Seltzer. And they've got their Garden City Brewery right there. So perfect spot to watch some football tomorrow. They got the TVs installed. Get out there, have some drinks, some tavern-style pizza, all the great options they have there. And that'll be at Western Collective's Brewery there in Garden City. Our title sponsor is roepaint.com, roepaint.com, our title sponsor. Check them out for all your painting needs, whether it's those concrete coatings, the world-famous one-day concrete coatings, or any interior, exterior painting project. Free estimate. So give them a call. Check them out online at roepaint.com. I think it's going to be more affordable than you might think for your next painting project. So check out our title sponsor at roepaint.com. We're here at Idaho Central Arena, Idaho Central Credit Union. I saw our boys from Idaho Central Credit Union out there on the court getting the game ball before the game. Clark and Shelby, I had a little chuckle at that. So appreciate Idaho Central Credit Union and what they continue to do for Bronco Nation News and all the local high schools and colleges and buildings they have names on and everything else. So they got a big sports marketing budget, and it's paying off for them as you see the success they're having in terms of the number of folks making the switch smartly to Idaho Central Credit Union. So check them out online. There's a branch pretty much in every corner with that eBranch mobile online banking right there on your smartphone, and the app is the easiest experience you'll have. But again, if you need a branch, you can find one pretty much anywhere you look. But check them out online, Idaho Central Credit Union at ICCU. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. We're going to hear from Leon Rice momentarily. Bauscher Real Estate, part of the Amherst Madison Real Estate Advisors. The #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher. And when you buy or sell a home using Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate, everybody in that picture is involved in the process. It's a great process. Every step of the way, they help you out, and they are ready to help serve you with all your real estate needs. And again, they're part of the Boise State home team now. So back up he's backing it up, and it's time for you guys to return the favor and back it up as well. And for that next purchase or sale of a home, please consider Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Ridley's Family Markets, check them out as well. ShopRidleys.com, 13 locations across the state of Idaho, other surrounding states as well. ShopRidleys.com, and download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, thespateam.com. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Check them out. And again, whether it's a pool table, a spa, a sauna, they got you covered. You can check them out online at thespateam.com. Back here live at Idaho Central Arena. Downtown Boise did not go Boise State's way tonight. Crowd ended up being pretty nice. Let's see if they announced it as. I don't see it listed, actually. But it was a pretty nice crowd. And going into the last couple of days, there were a ton of open seats up there in the upper deck. But I thought the fans showed up and really did a nice job today in terms of being able to bring some energy and trying and they didn't have much to cheer about in that first half, but the crowd showed up and the tickets were not cheap for this game. So kudos to the crowd. Wasn't sold out by any means, but it was a nice crowd. And that second half, they finally got some stuff to cheer about. It was just a little too late for Boise State. Again, 74-69 the final. We're going to give our Matt Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game I think you probably have to go to Andrew Meadow. I thought Andrew Meadow in 34 minutes, 7 of 13 from the field, hit 4 3-pointers, all 3 of his free throws, 7 rebounds as well, 21 points, and he was a team high +7. So when Andrew Meadow was on the court tonight, Boise State was +7, outscored Washington State by 7. So Andrew Meadow, our Matt Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game. Check out BauscherRealEstate.com. Again, all your real estate needs. I know everybody has about 5 friends that are realtors, but you will not be disappointed with Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. And again, Andrew Meadow, our Bauscher Real Estate Player of the Game. Mentioned Tyson Degenhart, 7 of 15, did hit 1 3-pointer at 18 points. You had Alvaro Cardenas with 10 points. And it's interesting because you heard in the first half they kind of settled for too many threes. Well, then in the second half, they're trying to make the comeback. They actually had some open threes, but, they were, passing them off and not shooting them at that point because they were, had been taking too many in the first half and didn't want to get, happy with the threes. But really to make a big comeback there, they were going to have to hit some threes in the second half. Just didn't make enough of them to pull it off. 7 of 27 from 3 for the game. And they also missed 8 free throws in this game as well. So tough one for Boise State. And Dub says Boise State not a top 25 team, way too inconsistent. Not sure who right now is saying Boise State basketball is a top 25 team. I think they've dropped to number 53 at KenPom. They did start the season at 47, 48, I believe. So, they have dropped a couple of spots, but overall they're about where they were metrics-wise when the season started. But certainly a tough game, no sugarcoating it. First half was one of the worst first halves I've seen them play in a long, long time. Just no energy, no enthusiasm, just sloppy play. Getting out hustled for rebounds, getting balls slapped out, just a basic inbounds pass getting stolen. It was bad. I didn't hear a lot of boos, but you very easily, if you paid a lot of money to come to this game tonight, I would not have had a problem if you booed tonight. I thought it was, I don't like to use the word embarrassing, but it was a pretty poor first half all the way around, down 20 at the half. And then you think, okay, maybe there's this chance they can make a comeback in the second half. And it starts off even poorer with 2 baskets right away. Leon has to burn a timeout, and they're down 24, and you're just like, oh, my gosh. So kudos to them in the second half for at least making it a final score game. Hopefully everybody didn't turn it off at halftime because they at least made it a game in the second half. But overall, not what you're looking for on national TV to have a performance in a game like that. The head coach, Leon Rice, and again, we're doing this in a weird interview room. There's a little buzzing on there. Maybe the audio is not perfect. I apologize. But let's hear from the head coach, Leon Rice. Pretty honest and candid, Leon Rice, after the game.
Today we got new personnel and a little slow getting here. Sorry about that.
How do you describe the difference from the first half to the second half?
Yeah, it was just the mindset. It was just the way, that's how we usually play, and we didn't come out. And, I think our guys, like I told our guys, the outcome of this game doesn't change how I feel about our guys and our team, but they have to do a lot better job of being coachable. And being coachable means being able to listen to the message and then be able to go out and execute it. And we did a terrible job of that in the first half. I mean, the difference of us offensively in the first half and the second half, that was the game plan. And we were just like, oh, let's take the bait and let's just jack threes. And, people are like, well, why didn't Tyson score in the first? Because he never got a chance. We were just shooting the first open three, and some of them were open, but we took the bait and played into their hands, and we got to do a better job of that, and we will.
With the momentum you guys have going, is there a little frustration that, okay, maybe this game is 2 minutes longer, you do leave the
Yeah, but that's on us you can't waste 20 minutes against a good team, and but then you also, I said it before, there's two things that don't come back: dogs that chase cars and teams that don't make free throws. They made theirs down the stretch. We missed a front end. We missed about 4 or 5 free throws that if you make those, now when you do come back, it's a 1-point game instead of a 5-point game, and now you got a chance. And then now all of a sudden their free throws become a little harder. So credit to them. They played a good game, and but we are, like I said, we are a work in progress trying to find the right pieces, and the right pieces have to be consistent, and everything's on the table now. I mean, it's all about how tough we are, and we were not a tough team in that first half. Second half, great, we responded, but you can't play 20 minutes against a good team and expect to get the W.
I mean, your program over the years has been built on that toughness, that energy, that
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting into with the good team you're playing. I mean, the crowd ended up being pretty good. Like, how do you explain just coming out on empty?
Well, it wasn't that they didn't try. I mean, I just think that we were soft. We were soft mentally, not, I don't think our teams were pretty strong, big guys and everything, but we were soft in the fact that they put their will on us, and we didn't do anything that made them adjust to us until the second half. And, think how many balls we got and they just took from us, And then, hey, our big thing that don't settle, make them defend us like we did the second half. And just seemed like every, hey, I'm open, let me just shoot. I'm open, let me just shoot. No, that's stopping. We're going to find the guys that are coachable. And like I said, it has nothing about their personalities. These guys are the greatest guys in the world. But coachable means listening to the message and being able to go out and execute it. Don't listen to them. Yeah, I got you, coach, and then go out and shoot one past 3 and it's clunk, and then the way they go. So.
Just what was your message to your team at halftime and for them to respond as you did?
Well, just we get back to being who we are. That's the thing about athletics. You have to be able to be tough, mentally tough enough that you can impose your will on the other team, not let them do it to you. And they just totally did whatever they wanted in the first half, and we just played right into their hands.
You got a lot of newcomers who talked about trying to find the right combinations. Has that been harder to this point than you expected or previously?
Yeah, because the right combinations relies on consistency. So okay, I know what I'm going to get out of this guy, consistent. And there's been too much of this up and down, and then, but hey, that's this time of year. You got to work through it, and that's why you play good teams, because they expose that, and we'll find the answers.
What did you learn about your team in the second half? I mean, it just seemed like there was no quit in them, and even when Washington State would hit a 3-pointer, it's like, all right, this run's over, and just come back and go on another run.
Yeah, I mean, we're a good team, and we've got some. But you're not a good team if you play 20 minutes, and that's, But like I said, that outcome doesn't change the way I feel about these guys, and it doesn't change the way. But my job is, and it doesn't matter who it is, my job is to find the 5 that are going to be the toughest, that know what we're doing, and that go out and grind it and impose our will on somebody else. And that, that's not what we did tonight in the first half.
So with saying you're trying to find the right combinations, work in progress, what can you say about Andrew at least?
Yeah. And he's been more consistent than, that's And we have, him coming off the bench is not a bad thing because we got him a lot of minutes and a lot of productive minutes. When you looked at him moving to coming off the bench, he had gone 5 games with no stats in the first 4 minutes. So we needed more productive minutes. But again, like every minute is precious. We can't waste any. So, whether somebody has to play 40, they play 40. But you got to earn every second you're going to get to be in this jersey and on the team and out on the court. You're going to earn every second that you're out there.
And even just with that being said, he's only a sophomore, and to lead the team, and like I said, go out in the second half and perform. What's that say about him?
He's a machine, and he's a tough kid, and he's doing a lot of things we ask. So, yeah, no, he seems like I'll look at the film and we'll analyze every single bit of this game, player by player, position by position, and minute by minute. And so, until you do that, you don't really know who was really good and who. Now, he did some great things, no doubt about it.
Big picture, Leon, just where are you? Obviously this was a game that you would have liked to have had, and you have another big one next Saturday.
Yeah.
I know it's a long season, but just with where you're at right now, big picture-wise, how do you kind of look at where you guys sit?
Well, we made some progress in some areas, and I think maybe we went a couple steps forward, but then you take some step back. Okay, let's eliminate those taking a step back and keep taking steps forward, and that's what we got to be able to do. And because I felt like we were making progress, we've had great practices, but we got some guys in their own head about some things, and we got to get that fixed.
Yes, they do have to get that fixed. The all-wheel drive sale from Lithia Ford of Boise. If you want to get your vehicle fixed in terms of getting one with better traction for the weather that is coming, their all-wheel drive sales going on right now, whether it's an F-150 like the Rains family has, some of their other great vehicles, whether it's four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, they got it all. And lithiafordboise.com, they have you covered. So check out their full inventory, lithiafordboise.com, or go check them out at Lithia Ford Boise. I think this will be a Taco Bell night, maybe on the way home for the family, the boys. My wife's already texting me saying the kids are wanting some Taco Bell tonight. TacoBellWorks.com, part of the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. They got dozens of Treasure Valley owned Taco Bell, Treasure Valley locally owned Taco Bell locations. So perfect night, perfect weekend to go get some Taco Bell with the family. And if you're looking for a job, they're hiring too. So check them out online at TacoBellWorks.com. Speaking of jobs, Transportation Compliance Service is hiring. Check them out, transcompservice.com. 866-813-7620. They are a locally based company here helping folks all over the world. So check them out online, transcompservice.com. You need that Ashton Genty gear. You want the bowl gear tomorrow. The bowl gear will be out, all that good stuff. The college football playoff gear, you can get it at the Blue and Orange store, whether it's the Ashton Genty jersey, the sweatshirt, the T-shirts. They got you covered. Ashton Genty gear at the Blue and Orange store. Check them out online, theblueandorangestore.com, or just go to the Boise Town Square Mall there on the second floor next to Pro Image. We want to appreciate Jackson's for their sponsorship of the football team, the basketball team with the NILs and things. And coming in January, when the basketball team scores 70 points or more, you get a hot dog and a soda for $2, courtesy at Jackson's. I'm getting a poor Wi-Fi signal here, so hopefully we're rolling okay for now. But Jackson's, Tyson Degenhart, Omar Stanley, Andrew Meadow, they got some NIL deals with them. And don't forget, 25 cents from every hot dog sold goes to support the Horseshoe Collective at Boise State. So next time you're looking for some snacks or a hot dog or some gas, make sure you head and visit our friends at Jackson. Speaking of food, Lean Feast, you try and eat healthy, you want to do some meal prep. Obviously, if you're going quick, fast food, go for Taco Bell, go to Jackson's. But if you're looking to kind of plan out some meals in advance and get some meals ready for the office, I highly recommend our friends at Lean Feast. LeanFeastMeridian.com, LeanFeastMeridian.com. 10,000 plus combinations. I got the keto options is what I'm doing. It's helping me lost almost 21 pounds. So we're pushing forward with Lean Feast and steak, shrimp, chicken, fish, you name it. They deliver anywhere in the Treasure Valley. It's good for 5 days in your refrigerator. So you can order on a Sunday or Monday and have them for the whole week. Pop that bad boy in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you're in paradise there. So highly recommend Lean Feast Meridian. Check them out, leanfeastmeridian.com. And our friends at Signature Roofing, they want to remind you to get your voicemails in. Speakpipe.com/BNN. MySignatureRoofing.com is the website for them. But we're taking voicemails Tomorrow, we want to hear them. We're going to have a hour-long show talking about the college football playoff and Boise State and their seed and the history of that. It's going to be about noon tomorrow. We're planning for noon tomorrow to join us. John Mallory, Mike Prater. We'll be live at the James Kitchen and Bar at noon tomorrow. We're looking forward to this at noon. So join us at noon to talk about the college football playoff rankings after the show is released. We'll be in the room with the team when they find out the bracket, and then we'll tell you about that and what it means, and you'll hear from some players and things. But we want to hear from you at speakpipe.com/BNN on the Signature Roofing voice inbox tomorrow. Covering our community for more than 2 decades, Signature Roofing, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an inspection, a free estimate, they got you covered. Check them out online, again, at mysignatureroofing.com. We're back here live on the Postgame Show, the Idaho Central Credit Union Postgame Show, live from Idaho Central Arena. You see the logo right there, the court down below. Tough one today for Boise State. They fall again 74-69 and to Washington State, and wasn't a great game tonight for the Broncos. Just got in a horrible first half, one of the worst first halves I've seen in a long, long time, and it just didn't, it just was really, really bad. And then the second half started off even worse. They got down by 24, and it was just the lackadaisical passes. It was grabbing a rebound and the guy poking it out. It was just a weird, weird game that we're not used to seeing for Boise State. So you crumple up the stat sheet, you try to get better, and you move on. But they've kind of they're behind the 8 ball now. I mean, they're going to almost have to beat St. Mary's to have a chance at an at-large bid here, or this is a team that's really going to have to make some hay in Mountain West play here. So obviously not a good loss today. You lose by 5 when you're favored by 6 or 7. It was just a weird game, not a game we're typical to see from Boise State, and it came at a bad time because you had a pretty good crowd and they're all excited coming off the football game and just didn't have much to cheer about today. And as I said, it's just a situation now where you almost have to win the St. Mary's game to really have any case for an at-large bid. You beat St. Mary's 8-3 non-con, you wins over Clemson and St. Mary's, 2 top 40 teams. It's not great, but it's good enough to give you a puncher's chance going in to conference play. But you lose against St. Mary's, that'd be 3 out of 4 losses, and you'd be 7-4. So all of a sudden, a ton of pressure on that St. Mary's game Saturday. So not a good one today. Not much else to say about it. We'll wrap it up from Idaho Central Arena here in downtown Boise. We appreciate Jaden Finch for helping us out behind the scenes. Again, 10 a.m. tomorrow is the party with the football team. They're going to have a private watch party to find out where they're going. Watch that show along with them at 10 a.m. tomorrow on, I believe, ESPN. And then we'll be, again, noon. The schedule now is around noon to be live from the James Kitchen and Bar with an hour-long show. Mike Prater, John Mallory, and myself. Special Sunday joint KTIK BNN show to talk about the rankings and what's going on there. And it's fun day tomorrow. Tough night tonight, but watch some football. Put this one behind you. See what happens in that Clemson game. I still don't know what we want to happen in the Clemson game because you really don't want to go to the Peach Bowl. You'd like to see Clemson get in and maybe get the 3 seed, but I really don't know if you want to have to go to the Peach Bowl all of a sudden instead of the Fiesta Bowl. And everybody we ask, nobody has the same answers, so I really don't know. And people are tweeting stuff, and everything is different about who gets priority, what would happen. There would be a worry, though, that Arizona State, if they get the 4 seed and Boise State gets the 3, they would keep Arizona State and their contractual obligation to the Fiesta Bowl, and then Boise State would get shipped to the Peach Bowl as the 3 seed. I don't know if they would do that or not. You would think they would give the geographical preference to the higher seeded team, but I can't find anybody that is really saying kind of what is going on with that. So been a long last 36 hours. We're going to jump off of here, pick up some food on the way home, maybe at Taco Bell, and get our kids fed there. And we'll be back again 10 a.m. tomorrow. We'll have the selection show, and then our show will be live at noon on a Sunday with Mike Prater, John Mallory, and myself. So thank you guys. Appreciate you for checking us out. Thanks to all of our great sponsors. Again, $50 for a year subscription to Bronco Nation News. If you've ever thought about jumping in, this is the perfect time. BNN 50 deals, that promo code $50 at bronconationnews.com. And as always, support the sponsors. Like and share our broadcast. Tell your friends. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. 10 a.m. is the selection show. Noon, the live shows. It's going to be a fun day for Boise State football. And stop thinking about this one. Rough day for the basketball team. They lose 74-69. Find out tomorrow the college football playoff bracket. Enjoy the football tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Bronco Nation News live from the Idaho Central Arena, downtown Boise. This is BJ Rains with BroncoNationNews.com.